The Uncanny Archives,
Volume 4, The Buffer Zone. Act 1, The Self-Call. We trust our devices to tell us the truth. We trust the camera to show what's there, and the speaker to play what's said. But code is just a language, and sometimes languages have mistranslations. Mark was a freelance video editor. He lived alone in a high-rise studio. His phone was his life. One Friday night, at 2:47 a.m., his phone buzzed on the coffee table. The caller ID didn't show a name or a number. It showed his own contact card. It was a FaceTime call from himself. Mark laughed. He thought it was a spoofing prank or a lag in the iCloud sync. He hit accept. The screen flickered. The connection was perfect. He saw himself. The other Mark was sitting in the exact same chair, wearing the exact same hoodie. The background was his exact studio. But the other Mark wasn't moving. He was staring into the camera with a look of pure, paralyzing terror. Act 2, The Delay. Very funny, guys, Mark said, looking for the hidden camera. But on the screen, the other Mark didn't speak. He didn't blink. Mark raised his hand to wave. On the screen, the other Mark stayed still. Then, 5 seconds later, the other Mark raised his hand. It wasn't a prank. It was a time delay. Mark realized he was looking at his own room, but 5 seconds into the future. He started testing it. He would clap his hands, and 5 seconds later, the screen would show the clap. It was a fascinating glitch, until he saw the door. In the background of the video, the future video, the door to his studio began to open. Mark looked behind him in real life. The door was shut, locked, deadbolted. Act 3, The Uninvited. He looked back at the screen. The door in the future was now wide open. A tall, spindly shadow, something that looked like a man, but with limbs that were far too long, stepped into the room. Mark watched his future self on the screen. The future Mark didn't notice the creature. He was too busy looking at the phone, looking at present Mark. "Turn around," Mark screamed at the phone. "Behind you! Look behind you!" On the screen, the creature was now inches away from the future Mark's neck. Its fingers, grey and needle-thin, reached out to touch his hair. In real life, Mark felt a sudden, icy draft. He checked his watch. 4 seconds left. Act 4, The Replacement. Mark scrambled for his keys, for the door, for anything. But he was transfixed by the screen. He watched as the creature leaned into the future Mark's ear and whispered something. On the screen, the future Mark's expression changed. The terror vanished. He turned and smiled at the creature. Then, the future Mark looked directly into the lens. He spoke. "Thank you for opening the door, Mark. The lag is over." The call disconnected. The screen went black. Mark stood in the center of his quiet studio. He waited for the 5 seconds to pass. 1, 2, 3, 4. The door didn't open. The creature wasn't there. Everything was normal. He let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. "Just a glitch," he whispered. "Just a dream." He picked up his phone to call a friend, just to hear a human voice. He opened his recent calls. There was no incoming call from himself. There was only one outgoing call. It was to a number labeled the real Mark. And the call duration was 000. Mark looked in the mirror across the room. He realized he didn't recognize the shirt he was wearing. He didn't remember moving to this city, and as he watched his reflection didn't blink when he did.